I'm greatly honored to welcome faculty, family, and friends today, as well as give a special shout out to the class of 2023. We survived. What did we survive, you might ask? Well, we survived COVID and all of the fun experiences it brought to us. From awkward classes over Zoom to receiving Mrs. Lingo's package of frozen animals on our doorstep to dissect. We survived through the making of our 9th grade homecoming float with the poor Mario balloon trying his best not to fly away. We survived Dr. East's touching advice and all of his wise quotes, including his famous words, "We can do hard things," just to realize after all this time, he was right. At a certain point in our class, we stopped surviving and began to thrive. Maybe that started when we won Powder Puff for 2 consecutive years. We don't have to talk about senior year. Or when we narrowly escaped the curse of uniforms, even though I'm fully convinced that a uniform dress code couldn't have stopped us from wearing whatever sweatshirts we wanted. As we moved into our senior year, we continued our thriving habits and fell right into the role. Whether it was guiding sports teams to state championships or leading chants in student sections, we made it happen. And now as we go out, we take a small but hugely significant piece of Brookstone with us as our grade chair, Miss Gaynor, graduates into a new adventure alongside us. And from the entire class of 2023, we love you, Miss Gaynor. This year, our school motto was to leave your legacy. A legacy is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, or accomplishments that took place in the past. In our case, this legacy is not defined by 1 or 2 people, but instead is defined by our class as a whole. Whether you are new this year, a lifer, or came anywhere in between, you have contributed to our class's legacy in some way, shape, or form. With the help of Mrs. Boswell, we stumbled upon the word charismatic to describe our grade perfectly. Generally, when people imagine charisma, they probably think of those who are outwardly mesmerizing, captivating, and charming. And while I can't argue with that, I was mostly drawn to this meaning, exerting a compelling charm which inspires devotion in others. We have modeled this loyalty in countless realms. Our graduating class is an overwhelming example of inspiring and leading others. Hannah Grace Mayfield, leading our swim team to be the first ever state champions. Nancy Lofbaum, starting a green pen fund in Dr. Harkey's room. Luke Snipes and Peyton Wells, bringing us the funniest, sassiest characters we have ever watched in our award-winning one-act play. Christopher Goodchild and Eli Land, setting standards that are high, literally, by already getting their pilot's license. Katie Kennemer, using the power of guitar music to motivate students throughout the halls. Spencer Waddell, leading the troops to keep spirits bright as they carol down the halls during the Christmas season. Ruthie Haygood, always bringing laughter with her hilarious stories. Or it could be as simple as wishing everyone a good luck before every test, like Eva Land. As a grade, we stimulate devotion in each other and in the people around us. Proverbs 27:17 reads, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." And I truly believe that we motivate each other to become the helping hand, support system, and light of our community, whether it be in sports, Young Life, service projects, classes, or any other aspect in our lives. The legacy that you leave does not end as your physical time at Brookstone does. I'm not sure what will become of us once we graduate, but what I am sure of is that we can all accomplish great things. Greatness comes from how we impact each other in our lives and from the relationships that we build. Greatness derives from the kind of person we choose to be after we walk out of here today. When I first came to Brookstone, I wanted nothing more than to fit in with everyone else, like I assume most would. But the longer I was here, I had a greater understanding that we are encouraged to stand out from the crowd and not be hidden away. Some of you have been together for 13 plus years now. some of us for 4, and some came for an amazing senior year. Although it can be hard, the truth is that in 2 months, we will all go our separate ways, to different colleges, different states, and new journeys. Journeys are not determined by the opportunities offered to us, but by what we make of these opportunities. And once you do get that opportunity, make the most of it. Growing up, I watched both of my sisters go through high school and leave the house before it was my turn. During freshman year, I wished away time and hoped for senior year to come quickly. Now, in the snap of a finger, senior year is over. The countdown to graduation has hit 0. Here we are, ready to take on the world. Now we must find those passions of our own and begin new legacies while reflecting on the foundations we built here at Brookstone. We must embrace our charisma, our ability to mesmerize, captivate, and charm. We must use our charisma to create devotion in others, just as we do here today, as we will do tomorrow, and for many years to come. Thank you, class of 2023, for instilling a long-lasting legacy that helped me form my identity as an individual and our identity as a graduating class. I challenge you to keep inspiring others to be the best versions of themselves as you embark on this new chapter. Thank you.
I want to start this speech giving regards and congratulations to my fellow classmates in the graduating class of 2023. I'm deeply honored that you voted for me to talk on behalf of our class. It is something I will never forget and hope y'all don't also. I also want to thank the upper school faculty for instilling knowledge and hard work into every one of the students who are graduating today. You have put so much time into our education, and we can never thank you enough for all the work that you do for us. You are the ones who have shaped us into who we are today. Whether that be Miss Lumsden, who taught us as sophomores in chem class that chemistry and science may not be in our future, or Mr. Chapman, who seemed to always find out if something fishy was going on in APUSH. And as I stand here today, I remember all of these teachers who have impacted all of our graduating class, even down to pre-K, like Miss Blaylock. I want to also thank all of our parents for their continuous support and for always being our biggest fans. You have always shown us unconditional love, even when we didn't deserve it. So, when I started writing this speech, I really struggled. I mean, how can I summarize my 13 years of school at Brookstone into 5 minutes? So, I went to Dr. Harkey's favorite thing, ChatGPT. And I told it to write me a graduation speech. But it was terrible. So I had to scratch that and do it myself. But instead, I decided to go down memory lane. And it didn't take me long to start remembering some of our hilarious stories this class has made. It feels like only a few years ago, we were in intermediate school when Eva told DJ to walk on the ice on Courtney's Pond, and he fell in. Or just yesterday, when Henry hit-sticked Spencer Waddell in middle school football. Or our class has shared so much laughter. I remember watching Doug fall face first during the 3-legged race on Blue and White Day this year. We've experienced pain after a late loss in the Senior Faculty Cup. We've struggled during our treacherous 8th grade trip into the wilderness of North Carolina. An emerging victory through our big win in the burger cook-off versus Mr. Crowder and Mr. Davis. Mr. Crowder, if you still want those grilling lessons, just give me a time, a place, I'll meet you there. These shared memories and experiences are what has set us apart from every other class. Though we are moving into a new chapter of our lives, these experiences are what we must hold to remember the great times we've had at Brookstone. Now look where we are, our graduation. We spent the last 4 years all working towards this final goal of one night. The countdown to graduation is finally 0, KDK and LB. Although yes, we must look to the future and our new experiences, we must first recognize where we've been. We must stay present and remember our roots from high school. So I ask you, fellow graduates, to slow down for these last few moments and remember these last few years we've had together. We must remember the painstaking days of having AP Lit last on a Friday, or Win Grubbs sadly getting dunked on in the Pacelli game freshman year, or even the abort mission email. These memories are what have made high school such an unforgettable time for all of us, and we have done it all together. Although it is coming to an end and we are moving around the U.S., Luke A. up in Montana, Trinity over in Chicago, Emily down in Ole Miss, or even Jake up in North Carolina, I want us all to remember that we have done everything in our power to maximize our high school experience and make it into the most memorable it could be. The impact it has made on each and every one of us is more than we will ever know. We have always been a tight-knit group that can be characterized by our passion to do something and will to work hard to obtain our goals. Mid-March, our freshman year, the school was shut down due to COVID, leaving us all in a scramble, wondering, was the world going to end? Will we ever get to do in-school person again? When will I get to see my friends again? These were dark times for our whole class, but we did what we always do: overcome. We didn't allow the virus to stop us and pull us down. While keeping our distance, we continued to exemplify our passion to be together with the widespread start of mountain biking and the beginning of the mountain biking club, playing golf every day, or simply just getting together to get food. As Alex reminded us, Dr. East used to always tell us, you can do hard things. That might sound cliche, but our 2-year reign as Powder Puff champions was not a simple task. Jenna, Walter, Andrea, Dimitri, Dylan, Taylor, and Archie obtaining scholarships to play college sports was no simple feat. And the daily grind of having to wake up and get to school by 8 was much harder for some than others. You can ask Tommy, Nancy, Jack, or Julia. But do not think these accomplishments came without adversity along the way. There were times when we were knocked down, but persisted to get back up again. This part of our class identity is so prevalent in our lives. Adversity will come. Life will knock us down. But we must remember to overcome it, remembering that if we stick it together, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Now, class of 2023, as we approach the end of this tunnel, new roads, pathways, and opportunities will arise for us in our futures. But we must stay loyal and committed to this class. This loyalty and commitment needs to be as loyal as Bowden is to the Boston Bruins, or as committed as Yates is to the Georgia Bulldogs. Believe me, you have not seen the extent these guys will go to watch these games. I expect all of us to meet up every Christmas break we have in college. Finally, we must have the grit to overcome all of the challenges and adversities that life will throw at us. Loyalty, commitment, and grit are what will hold us together through these, whatever comes over our way. With this story ending, we enter a new story, a great story, one that is hard, captivating, and will challenge us in ways we have never been challenged before. But our will to overcome and ability to persevere will make this story into the way it should be: fun, exciting, and new. For that is what is most exciting about today, the ending of one chapter and the start of one that will change our lives. Thank you.